show you how you can rescale your patterns nice and easily. So I have my pattern tile here. I'm going to right click, open with Photoshop. This works with patterns that you have made in Photoshop or in Illustrator or on the iPad, however you make them. Get your pattern tile and then you can rescale it in Photoshop easily. So I make my patterns really big. If I chuck this to 100%, you can see that it is just going to print far too large. And if I'm wanting this to be on children's wear, it's just too big. So I'll leave this at 100% so we can see kind of the real scale. And what I will do is I'll go up to image, click on image, and I will click image size. It's also the shortcut here if you prefer to use that. And then I will make sure that the resolution is at 300 pixels per inch, and then I will change the width to the size that I want. So I might try 6 inches, and when I've put in 6 inches for the pattern, the entire tile to be that size, it gives me a preview of what the size is going to be. So another thing that's important, is to make sure that this is on hard edges. If you have it on automatic or some other thing, sometimes it does softer edges, and then you will get lines or might get lines in your pattern. So go hard edges, okay, and it has rescaled it down. So this is still at 100%, and then this is a you can see up here, I've got centimetres because I'm in New Zealand, so it's about a 15 centimetre square, and this one goes to 15 as well, so it's about 15 centimetres or a 6 by 6 inch square, and that is now this new size. To save that, I will go File, Save a Copy. You don't necessarily want to save over your original file. Save on your computer, and then I might save it with the same name, and I'll just put in 6 inch. That means that I have now got saved a 24 inch beginning file and then a 6 inch size as well. Now if you are uploading to something like Spoonflower, I have this for uploaded, and this is the 24 inch one that I have originally painted because it's a scale I work in. Now Spoonflower always changes things to 150 pixels per inch, whereas I work in 300, so you'll need to change it because it's just massive at the moment. If I put it onto an 8 by 8 inch test swatch, which is about 20 by 20 centimeters, you can see it's just far too large. So one way to change the size is to just click smaller, but then it kind of automatically rescales it in funny increments. You don't have much control over it. Or you can click change DPI. So you can see that 4 by 4 inches is showing here 1800 pixels. So you just kind of have to have like a bit of a guess if you're wanting 6 inches. Okay, well that worked out nicely. So you can type in the different amounts here, and then you can see here that it's 6 by 6 inch. So that is another way. If you don't have Photoshop and you're using Spoonflower, you can change it that way. Click Save Changes. Well, this preview here is the test swatch 8 by 8 inches or 20 by 20 centimeters, which is I often find a good one to actually be able to imagine, because you can kind of hold your hands up that size or use a ruler to see it. Once this has saved, you can then change it back to being a what's called a fat quarter if you prefer to see it on a different view, if that's what you're used to working with. Another thing that, here we go, I'll be able to do it now. A fat quarter, it shows you the larger repeat. I think that's about 1/2 meter. And then another thing that you can do is go view all products. But I mostly work with children's designs, and I do find that on Spoonflower a lot of the mock-ups they have are for things that are quite large, so maybe a bit different to the size that you would use for children's wear. Like a duvet, you probably want the much larger scale, whereas if it's like a girl's dress, you probably don't want it to be so big. But it gives you like a nice, some of the cushions and things, you can get a little bit of an idea of the scale that it might be. I hope that has been helpful and shows you a little bit of some ways that you can change the scale of your designs while designing large to keep all of the scale there and then scale them down individually for what you are needing, or if you have clients that need it at a smaller scale, you can do it this way too. I will see you next week.